today. We are going to jump right into things. To introduce myself as we get started, my name is Mickey Taylor Hendricks, and I am with the Service Development and Planning team here for DDOT. If anybody should be a panelist to speak and participate, so if you're either a commissioner or a DDOT staff, please raise your hand if you are not already a panelist, and we'll get you moved right over. And we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 1:14 and hop into introductions. So I'm going to start for introductions with DDOT staff. Just go ahead and say your name. I'm going to call on you just to kind of give this a flow based on my screen. Ricky, you want to start off?
Sure. My name is Ricky Amaker. I'm the manager of data and reporting.
Mr. Luckett.
Good afternoon. My name is Larry Luckett. I'm the Assistant Director of Vehicle Maintenance. Welcome.
Don Lozen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Don Lozen. I'm the Regulatory Compliance Officer for ADA.
Deanna.
Hi, everyone. I'm Deanna Donahue, the Grants and Planning Coordinator.
Mr. Hart.
Good morning, everybody. I'm William Hart. I'm with the Transit Police.
Alicia.
Sorry about that. Alicia Miller, Compliance Manager.
Zandra.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zandra Wimberly. I'm an Assistant Director with Administration.
Kristen.
Hi, this is Kristen Lukowski on the marketing team.
Ayobami.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ayobami Bell Torrance from marketing.
And Gina.
Hello, everyone. Gina Schofield from Service Development and Scheduling.
Brian Fisher. Brian. We'll come back to Brian. Pam King.
Pamela King, Regulatory Compliance Officer, ADA.
Deputy Director Lois Pittman.
Good afternoon, Lois Pittman, Deputy Director over with DDOT over Operations and Maintenance Divisions.
Deputy Director Marianne Walsh.
Marianne Walsh, Interim Deputy Director of Administration for DDOT.
And Brian Fisher. Okay. Brian Fisher's also on the call. He's with our compliance team working with Title VI. Might be having some mic issues. All right, so now let's jump right into the commissioners. Did I get everybody from DDOT? Cool, okay. Commissioners, if you don't mind just saying your name and then what district you represent. We're gonna start with you, Mr. Henderson.
Jay Henderson, District 4.
Ms. Reeves.
Edna Reeves, District 1.
Consuela.
Consuela Lopez, District 6.
Andy.
Andy DiDeRossi, I'm the Commissioner at Large.
Patty.
Patty Fedewa, District 5.
Bryant.
Brian Harris, District 2.
And that is everyone. All right. Thank you all so much again for joining us today. I have the agenda up, so everybody should be able to see it. Next, we're going to hop into public comment. So if there is anybody here from the public that would like to make a comment, please raise your hand, and then we should be able to move you over to speak. All right, Bami or Kristen.
No hands are raised at this time.
Okay, thanks. Okay, So next, we're gonna wait a few minutes for the director to join us. He, I'm sure, is very busy today, so we'll give him some time to join. And we're actually gonna just hop right into the department
Mickey,
update.
I think, hold on one moment. I think I see him now.
Okay.
Just moved him over.
Yeah, you had me in another room, and then you're talking about, you're like, oh, we're waiting for him. I'm like, hello, hello.
Well, hello.
How are you doing?
Well, and I will, we just finished, we didn't have any public comments. We just did introductions. So now we are at the director's report.
Ah, and I don't have a report, but I did tell Marianne that I was going to come in and kind of just chat a little bit. I'm excited that we are all back together again. I think the last time I was here, somebody told me it was their birthday. That's all I remember. Or their birthday was coming up. But I think this is an opportunity to kind of do some identification, self-identifying. We did a lot of research. I've talked to Mickey about sort of what the commission was doing in the past and some potential things that could be done. And there was some intake that was taking place. And I believe that's going to be a majority of the discussion today. But I just wanted to say, I'm glad that everybody's together. We're dealing with a lot at DDOT. I would love to sort of come to you with, wow, this is my vision of the advisory commission. But I think it would be better if you provide the vision of what you feel the vision is to me. But we're dealing with the COVID crisis, as you know, and trying to provide transportation. We're dealing with some restructuring. I just left City Council to have a discussion about Paratransit and what's going on there, extending New Freedom. I have a challenge with Paratransit. The contract is up in February. I'm going to extend it or put in to extend it 1 month to kind of get my hands around really what the issues are and run things a little tighter. We've got a lot of city council support, but we have a lot to do. We have the TRU support group. We're going to be doing a kind of presentation this Thursday about the state of where we are. We're going to cover everything from safety, culture, ridership statistics, fare collection, you name it. There's just a lot going on here. And I think that we have to figure out how the advisory commission can kind of get their arms around some of this and assist us in pushing some of it forward. We have the state fairgrounds everybody has heard about. We're moving forward with that. There's a lot of public opinion either way. I honestly think that the transit center is getting caught up in conversation that isn't necessarily transit related. It's more whether you like Amazon or not, or whether you want Amazon to be here. So then therefore, you know, we get thrown in. But there's just a lot going on. So I just wanted to say, we will be putting together, hopefully we'll have these meetings on a regular basis, and we'll be putting together a way to move forward. And that's really what I'm excited about. How do we move forward? I see that we have some departmental updates and we have the way that things have been, but I'm really interested in changing it up a little bit. I don't want this to be sort of a talking head. This is what's been taking place. You listen, then you leave. Need you to have a little more teeth and a little more bite. So with that, I'm going to leave you all to your meeting, and Mickey, you can continue. Thank you. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Director Oglesby. We are going to go into department updates. I will say for this meeting, we do want to be able to spend a decent amount of time talking through the commissioner's thoughts on the advisory commission. So, you know, what would you like to see from the structure? We have had some previous conversations with a few of the commissioners, but just to make sure we have as many here to open up that conversation with DDOT and with leadership. So we are going to go through department updates. After each department update, if you have a question for that particular department, that would be the time to ask the question instead of holding everything to the end, so we can just jump right into the board discussion, if that's okay. And so to start, we have operations.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'll chime in for operations division. I'm Andre Mallet, Superintendent of Operations. I'm filling in for my direct report, Mr. Larry Smith, who's out of the office, Assistant Director. And currently we have a couple new processes going on. So just to kind of bring you guys all up to speed, we're currently in the new bid process for our operators. We just recently rolled out our new technology upgrade under Clever Devices and HASIS. And so that's our new operating system that manages our operators. We're working through some nuances with that. And so the new bid process is taking place this week. Our go live date or effective date is going to be February the 8th. February 8th is a tentative go live date currently for the new bid. We also have been working closely with the city and all the officials as it relates to COVID, keeping our drivers and the public safe. So we have begun to have vaccinations designed for our operators to help keep them safe. We're currently also looking at going into collecting fares in the near future. So we're preparing as we make it past this COVID period. We're looking at how to rebuild our service and what it looks like going forward. And so we spend a lot of energy and time in that. So I like to thank you guys for your input. I would like to also just say hello to Mr. Harris.
If I may piggyback on Mr. Mallett's dissertation, I also want to add that internally for operations, we are also looking into revising and rehabbing our training programs, as well as focusing more on safety and customer service. So I did want to make sure I added that to everything else that Mr. Mallett spoke of.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, this is Brian Harris. Mr. Mallett, a couple questions. When do they anticipate starting collecting fares again? And my second question is, how does this new system compare with the old system for our schedule?
So this system, as it relates to the scheduling, is a little bit more integrated, working with our schedule. And it gives a whole lot more functionality and the ability to produce more effective routes or more effective service. So splitting blocks, splitting pieces of work, we have a better opportunity to maximize our service. So it'll be a real positive. I think this is going to be a great tool for the department. And the scheduling department is, while we are working through it, getting very familiar with the new system, and I think it's going to be a great benefit. And as it relates to our target collection of fares, I think I would have to yield to our executive director.
You know, something told me that was coming. I got to keep an eye on you, Mr. Mallett. But yes, that's an excellent question. So our target goal is to start collection of fares on 3/1. But one of the reasons why we've chose that date is we're in the process of coordinating with SMART to do it simultaneously. In order to do that, there are a lot of things that we have to take and had to take into consideration. One, there will not be a bus on the road without a barrier during that period in time for driver safety and rider safety. Two, there'll be sanitizing machines on all of the vehicles. We're in the process, we just finished that. We're in the process of getting everything ready. And then four, we're not able to have a cashless system like we really would like, because it takes a long period of time to get to that point. That's why we have sanitization machines, and we're going to be pushing people towards using the app, utilizing the app to purchase their fare. But we will still take cash. As we move forward, we're going to be pushing for a potential cashless system. But one of the challenges, of course, is that over 60% of our riders use cash. So even if we do come up with that system, you know, realistically, how much of them will be happy, how much won't, we're going through that process. But the short answer to your question is our target date is 3/1, and we're in the process of getting ready to do a marketing push to let the public know.
Okay, and my next question was about the barriers. So you anticipate barriers will be on all the coaches by March the 1st?
We anticipate by that all barriers will be all installed within the week of the first 2 weeks of March the 1st. But in order to run the system, you don't need all 288 installed. We have about 250 installed right now.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Mickey, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Are we going to be at full service when we start charging? Because I have to tell you, I don't know how we can charge until we get up to full service. And I was wondering how many people we are still leaving because our buses are too full the way things are now. And I was wondering if where we are at pullouts.
Let me come in and answer that question. That's a good question. So the answer to the question is no, we will not be at full service when we start charging fares. The reason why we had to reduce the service originally was due to resources and potential ridership. So originally we went to a weekend service. While providing that weekend service, we were having some problems with overcrowding and producing really good service. So we changed it to a modified schedule, which is working today. We still do have some crowding in some areas, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. So the goal is we have a new schedule that's going to be, the drivers are actually picking the work right now as we move forward. As far as full service, I think there's a misunderstanding there, but I will tell you that we have roughly 260 to 280 operators showing up on a daily basis. In order to run full service, we need 477 operators. In other words, we'd have to fill everything with overtime, which will completely blow our budget, and the ridership does not support full service at this time. The reason why I say it doesn't support it is because we are handicapped. And I believe you're familiar with the fact that we only allow 10 people on the vehicle, right? Mm-hmm. Typically a vehicle can take 40 people. So when you're just putting 10 people on the vehicle, you have a problem. And then when you go above the 10 people, then it's overcrowded. If you stay at the 10 people, then people aren't getting a ride. So it's a tomato situation. But let me just go back for a second, just lay something out for you, just to put it in perspective. If I was running full service pre-COVID, full service, everything's running fine, and we have 477 operators, we have the buses rolling, they're crowded, and then I say only allow 10 people on the vehicle, not COVID, just only allow 10 people on a vehicle, you will have ridership problems. If I'd have to put more people on, more than 10, you would have overcrowding problems. You will have overcrowding at the actual bus stops. So it's an impossible task to be able to pull it off. So where we're at is we have to do the best that we can with what we're handed. Some people think, well, just throw more buses out there. It's not that simple. It's like whack-a-mole. Where do you know to throw the buses? And also there's only limited resources, coupled with the fact that we have operators that are also going through the COVID issue and COVID crisis and have to stay at home too. So it's not as simple as that. That's why we're moving forward with the existing process, and we're moving forward with charging. Charging will actually stop a lot of the overcrowding, because right now we don't charge fares. Therefore, we have a lot of people who are joyriding. As the joyriders go around, they're taking spots for people that need to get to their doctors, dialysis, all the things, everything that they have to do. So I actually have people on the bus that shouldn't be on the bus, and I have people that need a ride not being able to get a ride, but you cannot deny people to get on the bus. So therein lies the rub. If you are charging fares, those who pay are the ones who ride. And I think that will solve the overcrowding problem. It's not running a full schedule. That's my short answer.
So what's our on-time performance?
We can, Ricky might have that available for the data and reporting update, so that can come up in a few minutes if that's okay.
Now, I just want to state, though, it seems like we should be providing more, and especially since we're getting all this federal money coming in, we should be providing more service. And if it means putting in hazard pay, then we should be using that money for hazard pay.
Were there any other questions for operations? Okay, thank you. Let's move on to maintenance.
All righty. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, as Executive Director Oglesby said, you know, it's a lot of things going on in DDOT. And, you know, as we prepare to start again with our target date of 3/1 of collecting fares, we have a lot of challenges ahead of us. We continue to put masks on buses every night. We continue to sanitize the buses at the end of the line locations. So we are, you know, just making sure that we have. Of course, we haven't been using the fare boxes over the last several months, so we got to make sure all the fare boxes is ready and ready to start accepting money again. And so we're going through all of that. We're still hiring mechanics. So it's just trying to prepare, you know, and make sure that we prepared. You know, at some point we're gonna come out of this pandemic, and we gotta be ready to rock and roll. So that's pretty much what's going on in maintenance.
Thank you, Mr. Luckett. Any questions for maintenance?
I just want, it's Patty. I just wanted to say, I'm just concerned when you're talking about coming out of this pandemic, we got to be ready to rock and roll. It just sounds like we're behind already because we can't seem to get buses and people out. And so I just want to, I'm just concerned. I hear every day that some people are being stranded. And so I'm just raising that concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Anyone else? All right, scheduling and service development.
Hello, everyone. As far as the new schedule in February, we have increased service on Jefferson and then Dyke and added a couple of trips on to Plymouth. Due to the high ridership, we increased the service. But at this time, as we get data from Ricky, that's what we're looking at this time. Any questions? No questions.
Thank you, Gina. And just to add on to that, switching gears a little bit, I can do a quick transit center update about the State Fair Area Transit Center. So we have completed the equity analysis as well as the reviewing of the public engagement, which we hosted in November. And we have decided on a location for the center. I actually have a visual of that, so I'll post it in just a second. But the next steps will be to say where it is. It's in the same, the area off of 8 Mile east of the Gateway Shopping Plaza, directly east of that. So I'll post that visual. The next parts for the transit center will be to continue engagement, of course, with the public, as well as with obviously our riders, stakeholders, and the other city departments that are involved in the entire development site. So we will continue to work with DPW as they are responsible for the interior roads of the site, as well as our other mobility providers in the region. So we will continue to work with SMART to ensure we can maintain the transit connections that currently take place in the State Fair area. And then we'll have conversations with MOGO and other mobility providers to just make sure we are all on the same page as far as moving this forward. And while I work on pulling that up, do you mind jumping over to customer service, Sandra? Do you want to give an update for customer service?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we are in the process of hiring a new agent for our customer service team. So we're looking forward to having that agent on in the next couple of weeks. The agents just recently, as recent as today and on Thursday, are going through some additional training to support them in their ability to provide information to our riders. We did an analysis and discovered that in many cases, they did not have the tools that they needed. They did not have the information that they needed to provide the riders. And we did a deep dive with our contractor. And so they are being retrained. They were able to answer a lot of questions. I sat in on that training. So we're looking forward to an improvement in that area. Thank you. I'll take any questions that I can.
I am sorry, I just didn't get a chance to ask Mickey the question. Is SMART going to come into the transit center? Was that resolved so that way the transit center can be useful for fast, or how was that going to work? That could never really make sense to me.
Right. So the first thing SMART needed from us was to solidify a location of where the transit center will be. So we have had initial conversations with SMART to discuss what their concerns were, what their needs were. And they did express interest in making sure those connections were maintained and utilizing the transit center. So we've had some very early conversations about that. Now that we have solidified the location, and again, we are working with DPW to better understand the interior roads and how buses and traffic will move in and out, then we'll take that information back to SMART, have another round of conversations to then really talk about what the routing can look like. And they'll be able to make the decisions needed to really determine what the connections can look like. So basically, because we didn't have the location yet, it was hard for SMART to kind of make that decision. But they have expressed, they understand the importance, just like we do, of maintaining these connections. And they have expressed the interest in bringing the buses to the transit center. Thanks. Were there any other questions or questions for customer service? Okay. Next, let's go over to marketing. Do you have an update for marketing? Okay. Really quick, just to
go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead.
Well, no, that's okay. You can go ahead.
So I will say that the marketing team has been working hard to provide presentations and do all the things that they need to do, keep the website up to date. I probably would be best to just field questions if you have them. I just began to work with that team in the past week. So as opposed to providing an output, I'll be happy to take and field any questions if you have them regarding the marketing team.
Yeah, I have one question, Jay Henderson. It was said that you're going to start having people to pay on the 1st of March, I think it is, and you're going to do some kind of marketing. How do you plan to market that? Radio, TV? How do you plan to do that so that the people who may not listen to the normal communications get the message that they now have to pay?
So E.D. Oglesby, I've heard him explain this a lot of times. Would you like me to answer this question, or would you like to share the information on your plans for marketing?
I believe Marianne was in the last meeting with SMART on this, but I can say that there's a lot planned as far as letting the public know, and we're working in conjunction with SMART. It includes social media, television. At one point, it was even billboards, but I convinced them that doesn't make sense because we're looking at people on the, we're looking for people that actually ride the service on our bus stops. Marianne, do you have any other stuff?
Yes, we're going to be working with the city on doing a press release prior to selling passes, which our goal is mid-February, so people can buy passes in time for March 1st. And we are working with SMART, as Executive Director Oglesby said, on how we're going to put out the marketing collateral to alert the riding public.
I have a question. This is Consuela.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Will there be any marketing that is going to coincide with the city as it relates to like COVID vaccinations and like other information for the public on the bus?
Since nobody's talking, let me try to answer that question. I'm sorry, Consuela. Can you repeat that for me one more time?
So will DDOT have marketing that harmonize with the city's efforts as it relates to providing information and access to COVID vaccinations or testing?
So the testing portion of it is, like you said, ran completely by the city. As a matter of fact, I got my vaccine basically through them. But yes, we're going to be working together. There's already vaccine information, I believe, on our website as it pertained to the operators, but we're going to be working together with the city to get some more information out. I'm not part of those meetings with the city, to tell you honestly. There's a lot going on behind the scenes with health, and that's the health department. And when they give us the information, we put it out to the people. So we work in conjunction with them, but really we're at their mercy as far as the information of the vaccine and next steps.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool.
I have a comment. I've had my hand up. This is Edna Reeves, District 1. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, when it comes to advertising to let people know that the fairs will start in March, and you were saying the billboards didn't make sense, but our coaches are billboards in and of themselves. You can put something up on the coaches or perhaps inside the buses to let them know that, you'll start the fairs in March.
Yes, that is what we intend to do. We are going to use our internal advertising space on the buses as rolling billboards.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, because I heard somebody say billboards didn't make sense. You knew we are a billboard in and of itself.
Yeah, I'm the person who made that statement. I was referring to a billboard in the sense of a humongous sign on the side of the road as you drive down the highway. What you're referring to, I believe, are bus wraps, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Those are bus wraps. Those are not billboards.
Okay,
But yes,
clarification.
they do make sense. Unfortunately, prior to my arrival, they were frowned upon by the administration as far as doing any type of advertising wrap. But I do agree with you that we need to push forward and try to see what we can do about changing that, because this is a great opportunity for individuals, organizations, and even us as this commission to be able to get some things across. So we have control on the inside of the bus right now. We don't have control on the outside, and I'm familiar with it. You can do the top of the bus, it's called a king. You can wrap the bottom of the bus, it's called a queen. You can wrap the inside of the bus, it's called the Michelangelo on the ceiling. I've been there, done that. So we are looking at all of those options and opportunities. I think is a fabulous idea. So thank you for bringing it up.
All right. Any other questions pertaining to marketing? Okay, so this is the map I wanted to show really quickly just to give a visual of where the transit center for State Fairgrounds area will be placed. Again, it is off of 8 Mile. You can see my cursor. It is this turquoise space. And this gray space to the west of it is the Gateway Shopping Plaza. And then of course, here's Woodward, here's State Fair Avenue, and to the north is 8 Mile. So just to give you the visual of that. Okay, Grant, you want to go ahead with your update?
Sure. Just the update from the last meeting. We continue to spend down on our CARES Act funding. The operating assistants help us to support our staff salaries, and also the installation and purchase of the driver barriers that were spoke about earlier. The next round of funding, known as CRISA, we're expecting to get the same percentage. The RTA will formally announce the amounts that each provider in the region will receive. at their meeting next month, but we're expecting to receive the same percentage that that was allowed in the CARES Act funding, which was 48% of the total funding that came to the region. So we should be expecting that sometime in the next couple of months to get the funding actually allocated into the department. And that's all I have for now.
Thank you, Deanna. Do we have any questions for grants?
Yes, it's Patty Fedowa. Can I get a breakdown of how that money's been spent, the CARES Act money? Or do I need to do a FOIA on that one?
Sure. So the funding we received, it was over 64
Sorry,
million.
can I get a written one?
I'm sorry.
Can I get a written breakdown? Thank you, though.
Oh, yes, sure. We can,
That would save you a little bit of reading. Thank you.
yeah. I can provide that to Mickey, and maybe Mickey, when you, I don't know if you sent out meetings for the meeting.
Yep.
Or however.
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. Send it out with the meeting minutes. Therefore, all the commissioners have that information.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions for grants? Data and reporting.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining today. Just to start off, the on-time performance for last month was 75%. It's typically what our percentage is on a monthly basis, anywhere from 74 at the lowest to 77% at the highest, to answer your question. In terms of an update from our department, there were several things that are going on. Just as Mr. Mallet had alluded to, technology upgrades underway. We went live about 8 weeks ago, and it's had its ups and downs. I'm not going to say differently. The integrations between the different systems, not only is it something that we find is one more difficult part of any system like launch, but to do so during a pandemic, not to make excuses, and to do most of our work remotely and not have vendors on site has been a challenge. But we're working through those. We've become pretty adept at working, from across the United States with a lot of travel restrictions the last 10 months have provided. And I think that you might see a lot of the improvements starting to come to fruition. I know that Annunciators is a big part of it. I think a lot of people are excited about that. Please let us know if there's any reports that you're finding that they're not working. The other part is as Mr. Mallow was saying, the scheduling to dispatch connection is going to be one that's going to prove a lot of fruits, not only when it comes to the efficiencies and also optimization in terms of making sure that we're not overcrowding, but the third part is that we're going to come up to the contemporaries, our partner organizations across the US in terms of having information on the dashboard on the website, something that we can all, I'm sure, look forward to and have discussions about. So those are some things that we're working on. We have a package and we've received a lot of great feedback during our community input meetings. If you have input that also you'd like as commissioners, that's something that we more than welcome as well. And that's pretty much it. So thank you.
Thank you, Ricky. Any questions for data and reporting?
Yes, thank you for the 75% number. Is that based on only buses that are out there, or does that include the entire schedule it's supposed to be running? Because so often the issue is the pullouts that aren't out there don't get included, so it's sort of an artificially high number.
True. That is the buses that are out there. That is a system constraint. So if that is something that I can discuss internally to one would say extensible that stat, that is something that's a great suggestion. That is correct.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks. Next, we have compliance.
Good afternoon, everyone. Compliance doesn't have any major projects going on at this time. However, we are continuing to work to ensure that there's no discrimination in any of our services or programs as it relates to Title VI, EEO, ADA, and we are also ensuring that our workplace is drug-free by doing random drug testing. And that's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Alicia. And last but not least, we have Transit Police.
Happy New Year to everybody. It's good to see faces again. Really dealing with the same thing that Mr. Oglesby said with the overcrowding. We cannot stop people from riding until it becomes an issue where they're obviously riding in loops, and then we can talk to them. Other than that, we can't do anything. So nothing really new for us on our end, but any questions, I'm here to answer.
Okay, thank you. So that concludes the division updates we have for DDOT. So the next portion of today's meeting, we want to again discuss with the commissioners what your thoughts are around the direction of this body. As the director mentioned, we just have really a lot of opportunity to kind of improve the structure here and make sure, in addition to what DDOT is looking for out of this commission, we are also providing what the commissioners are looking for, and we would love your input and direction to help us come up with the best structure moving forward. So for this, I was thinking the format could just be with the commissioners, if you all could kind of give us your thoughts on the structure, you know, how do you feel the meetings go? Do you have any recommendations for us? Also, I'm interested in what you believe the purpose of this body is. And then any other comments as far as things we can work on or things that you believe are part of this body that we have not really accomplished. So I'm actually going to start with the first person I see, which is Andy.
Yeah, I just, where I'd be most useful is getting information out if there's something that needs to be shared with our reach. So just like, I think I said this on the last one, like I'm happy to help however needed, simple email and I'll do what I can, if it means getting out information about fares or safety updates or, transit center changes, just at your disposal.
So just to kind of summarize, you're saying one of the goals of the commissioners and one of the responsibilities is to help DDOT communicate information that we are pushing out.
Not with respect, not blindly, but like if it needs to get to a wide audience of transit riders, I'm happy to fulfill that. I don't want to speak for the other commission members, but it's a public service, so it should get out to the public. Marketing's expensive, and I would appreciate being able to help in that way.
Okay. And then do you have any thoughts around kind of the structure or things that we may have been missing or things you would like to have seen previously that you would like us to consider implementing moving forward?
I like the updates. Patty asked most of the questions that I'm wondering, I don't feel short on information. I think, a little more like these meetings are great and they're quarterly, but they're kind of rare. I don't think we need more meetings. That would be ill-advised. But if there was a monthly email thread or something, I would read small text-based updates and be able to respond. I think the transit world happens faster than once a quarter. I'd be happy to engage that way. But I don't see any big wholesale changes on my end. I'm pretty happy.
Sounds good. Mr. Henderson, do you have any thoughts?
I think the structure is good. I don't think we need to add any more meetings because I have enough meetings as it is. But I think the structure is good. And my purpose for being here, I'm in the Morningside, East English Village area, is to take the information back, since we're not doing any meetings now, is to give it to the president so they can send it out via email or by a newsletter and let the people know what's going on, because most people do not know what's going on with the Detroit transit system. And the thing today about the fares going up on the 1st, that's really good. I'll make sure that I put that out on all of our information circuits, because we have lots of people that ride, and I'm sure they will be happy to know that in advance so that it doesn't surprise them. They get to the bus and then they say, you got to pay. So I appreciate the information that I get here, and what I get, I'm not going to keep it for myself. I'm going to take it back and share it with my 3 communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Consuela?
So I know we've been going through so much changes over the past couple of months, but I never received like what's like October, I think it was. We were sent questionnaires on what we thought and what we felt in regards to the board, and then there was going to be a follow-up specifically on this. And it was another person within DDOT that sent out another questionnaire. So I'm wondering, like, what happened to those? What was the purpose? And did they fulfill the purpose and needed for DDOT?
So the one I sent out was to answer these same questions. So I sent that out after the summer meeting we had, but unfortunately only 2 of the commissioners responded. And then, as you know, we had the, kind of unofficial meetings to just kind of talk through those responses and talk through the same questions. So the vision, the purpose, and if you had any comments. Your feedback that I received from the commissioners that did respond has been sent on to leadership. So we can use that as we move forward with figuring out the structure and how to move this body forward. And I believe the other one that was sent out came from the compliance team, and Brian or Alicia,
Brian.
correct me if I'm wrong, but that was more so to get your information to make sure that we are in compliance with Title VI and making sure that the representatives we have on this body, in fact, represent our transit riders and they're representative of our service area.
That is correct, Mickey. Thank you.
Did you have any other thoughts about that, Consuelo?
No, I can talk to you about it later.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, you and I have conversed about this. So I definitely have your notes. I definitely passed on information, and I appreciate the time you took, as well as Patty, to have these conversations to, further move this along in the meantime. So that information that I got from y'all, the meetings that we had, that information has been passed on, and we will be referring to it as we move forward.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure, not to waste any time and energy and not to have a response or acknowledgement, that shows like we're in this together as a team, trying to build a better, relationship with the community that we're all serving. And so if we don't get a response, how do we know that our voices are valued by you? That's it.
For sure. Thank you. And yeah, I think the opportunity that this format presented was for us to just have more of the commissioners to get their thoughts and opinions to weigh in as well.
Thanks.
Thank you. Patty?
Yeah, kind of piggybacking on what Consuelo was talking about. We had, went through all this stuff, talking about having a more active, a commission that's there sort of advocating for the department wherever you need it, and we saw it being needed, among other things. And I know you had a wonderful draft of some new bylaws, and I know you were sending it up to legal to be looked at, and there was one thing I was quibbling about, but even that was fairly small, and I'm just wondering where that is, and maybe we can get that approved.
So I believe the opportunity of this meeting, again, to have all the commissioners present, or as many present as possible, was to have this conversation with leadership so they can ask questions as well to kind of better understand that feedback. And then the next portion would be to review with leadership, allow them to get together and talk through what the next step should be as far as structure. Marianne, did you want to add anything to that?
Yes. Hi, I'm Marianne Walsh. I'm the Interim Deputy Director of Administration for DDOT. And I am quite new to DDOT. So what we were hoping as new leaders was to have a robust dialogue with the commission directly to find out the history of the commission, the purpose of the commission, and how we can have collaboration with DDOT and the commission to advocate for transit. So that's what we were hoping to discuss right here in this slot.
Okay, can you, if nothing else, can you send out what our draft that we discussed and stuff? Well, I just feel like that's kind of went off the wayside. And I could send that info again that I did about where I think things are going, but in short, yeah, we'd like a commission that's actually run by the commission, and be advocating for change for DDOT for, on your behalf, and with, inside as we see things, whether it's a resolution as city council in support of something, whether it's saying, fare changes, this or that, any of those sorts of things, and sort of being closer to being a partner with you on this. And like I said, I will just give thumbs up to the hard work that Mickey did in creating the initial draft.
And is the initial draft something that the commission added comments to, or was that our legal team?
So the initial draft is,
go
ahead,
sorry.
I'm sorry. The initial draft is the one that we worked on with the commissioners in between meetings. So this is when we were able to present the current bylaws. We presented the RTD bylaws from Denver. We added comments to that. It has not made it to legal as far as an official review and for next steps of bylaws. That was kind of where things stopped. And that's when Marianne, you came on board. And so the opportunity to explore further presented itself. But this is, I can send it back out. But Patty, yeah, we have all that information. So I'll follow back up with leadership to make sure you all have it.
Okay, great.
Awesome. Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you, Patty. Okay, am I missing anybody?
Yes,
Edna.
Edna.
Yes.
But mostly what I had and my concern was, and I wasn't giving a lot because as you guys know, I'm exiting the commission. I finally sent in my resignation letter, so I didn't want to add too much. But one of my concerns was in the few years that I've been on this commission is that it's always been ran by DDOT and not by the commission. And I feel like if we are supposed to advocate or as a commission for the community and for DDOT, we should be more or less running the meetings. Since I've been on board, we've received information, good information. It's been great information we can take back to the community and share. But I don't see how our role really benefits DDOT from a standpoint of advocating for you. And I guess that's one of the things I shared years ago. And sounds like now it may be moving towards being ran more by the commissioners as opposed by the department, because I view this as we're just getting updates, but how can we really help you? And how are we really helping our citizens other than bringing some of their concerns back to the organization? So I'm pretty much in step in line with the way Patty and Consuela have pretty much outlined everything. But I try not to put too much in because I'm not going to be in to do the work, and I don't want to bring something forward that everyone else is not on board with doing.
Let me comment on that. First of all, thank you so much for your comments. You are spot on. Though I'm not new anymore. I've been here probably about 8 months now. That was one of the glaring things that I noticed with this committee when I first met you all. I was sort of kind of reeling and saying, I've dealt with a lot of commissions before. What's the purpose? How can we make this different? Yes, we do a great job of providing information, but then what? So everything that you're saying falls lockstep in place with what we've been attempting to do behind the scenes, up to and including trying to create some bylaws. I've been having long discussions with Mickey. As a matter of fact, I was the one who told her to look at RTD. They have something similar to try to look in the industry to see how we can sort of take this commission to the next level, if you will, because you deserve it. And it just has been stagnant. Now, unfortunately, with COVID, I'm not even going to get into it, but that is completely taken over my world over the past 8 months. But this has been heavy on my mind, and we need to give you the tools to do your job and give you the opportunity to help and also help guide us in the right direction too. So, I mean, I'm really excited. We're going to move forward. We're going to do things a little differently. Of course, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're not going to take everything away, but we do need to do some things just a little better to give the commission a little more, like I said earlier, a little more teeth, if you will.
I sincerely appreciate you responding that way, Oglesby, because it's like no one wants to waste their time. And you used the term earlier, like talking heads. And as long as I've been on the commission, it's just like we're sitting here to listen, and that's it. And I know I have something to contribute to my community. And it's not just about supporting DDOT and their efforts, because in the past 7 years, there's been a lot of extreme, wonderful changes. And I've been one that's been very happy to share those changes and like see that and witness that and be proud of those changes. But at the same time, when we come to the table, when we ask questions, we don't get the response right back. We don't keep meeting minutes. We don't follow up and follow through on things that we ask for, like on a consistent basis. Since Mickey been around, it's been consistent and whatnot. But I really I don't want to waste any more time if not understanding like, okay, I wrote a lot of stuff and I know Patty did too. And now it's January, about to go in February, and not for no one to have a response to us at this point. It's like I just feel like my voice is not being valued at all. And I know we're all still planning and all of that, but how long are we going to keep giving the same excuses? When everyone is still going to work, stuff still needs to get done, and you still want us to be present and you still want us to represent our communities, but it's quid pro quo. And I don't want to waste any more time. I don't want to go further and not feel confident, the confidence I used to have. And that's what I want to gain back in a true partnership between us all.
No, I appreciate your comments. We're going to take that back. Again, I brought some new people on board that are used to operating in the same structure that you're talking about. And we're going to start moving into that world. So we'll be there. Just be a little patient with us though. This format of how things have been, individuals, just talking to you, and then you take the information and leaving. This has been going on for quite some years now. You know what I mean? I've been here 8 months. So you see what I mean? So I've only been here 8 months. I can't walk on water. I tried to do it and my ankles got wet. So we can't do that. But I will tell you that we hear you and understand you. And I think we're going to take all of your comments and catapult this to the next level. I will say behind the scenes, Mickey and I were working pretty hard on this one at one point, but we kind of got derailed when we started going towards kind of a legal advice kind of thing. And we had some internal snafus where we had somebody supporting us, then they dropped off. And so we're pushing it. We're not just sitting here going, boy, we have this meeting. We're trying to make this right. But when Marianne came on board, and now Lois Pittman, who's my deputy of administration and maintenance, came on board, we started talking about, okay, what do we need to do with certain commissions and certain meetings? And this is one that I think will be beneficial. I mean, you represent all the districts. On the other side, I just got off a council meeting with all the districts. It all should be kind of hand in hand. As a matter of fact, when I have a question with city council, I should be able to take one of y'all with me, to tell you the truth.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yes.
when I'm, if I'm getting a beat down from District 6, I'm going to say, Ms. Lopez, can you come help brother out? Right. Because I need that, but I need you to then, all of you then, to have a relationship with the reps or with the city council people, and we can make it all work together. So I think we're on the right track. I know you don't feel as if we haven't been doing anything, and we did get derailed for a couple of months, and then the holidays came in and we would just forget about it, right? But it's like, I've realized in Detroit, that's one thing I learned. You get around the holidays, you might as well just wash all that out. I can't find anybody. But no, we're going to come back with some things. We're gonna go back to the drawing board on some things. And as far as the document that you all gave input in, we're going to put some fresh eyes on it and take a look at it again and send it out. We'll have some back and forth dialogue via email even prior to these meetings. So we don't have to wait for the meeting in order to send out an email to say this is where we are. And hopefully you all don't mind kind of working on it in between meetings. And then that way, when we get together, I think we'll all be stronger.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to talk about the vacant seats and whatnot, but last year, Patty did bring up the idea. Now we only have like one commissioner per district, but each district is very big. And of course, the culture within one district is, very different. And so it was a suggestion in bringing another person within the district. So you have someone like in Midtown, and you have another person that that's covering like the more west. or south of District 6 and stuff like that. And that way we make sure that we have a better understanding of all the needs that our community requires. So I don't know what happened with that.
I think I remember seeing something like that. I mean, we can talk about that. I think, you know, as you start expanding boards, especially within a district, it starts getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. I don't want to wash out the direction before we find our direction, right? So let's, my opinion, let's find our direction. Let's put together what we're going to be doing. Let's be specific on where it's going to be. Then we need to look at what you're talking about, district to district. Is the representation that we have enough, and do we need to expand it? Some people may say you may need a person not in a district to oversee it too. I mean, I've heard a lot of comment about how to do it. There's other ways to do it, like having a I forget what you call it now. I'm having a brain freeze. But when you have like someone to substitute for you, and then that person can be from another part of your district. So I mean, we can take a look at all options. We're wide open. That's why we're having this conversation. We want to hear what you think. Oh, there's Edna. Did she just pop in there? I see you now.
Yeah, I took my dog off so that you can see my face while I talk.
I
Because
know.
this part is very passionate to me. Even though, like I said, I'm leaving the commission. I'm just I really want to see it do better. I want to see it be a more positive and active role. And I do want to advocate for DDOT. And right now, I don't feel like that's my role. I feel like, you know, I am advocating for the community and the riders, but I don't feel like I'm advocating for you guys. So I'm really this
Yeah, but you're leaving me. But you're leaving me. You know, I just got here and you looked at me and you were like, I'm out. You know, I won't take it personal.
This was on the way before.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
I'm leaving the state. That's the only reason. Oh no.
No, sir. No, I understand. Well, I hope it's a good thing. I hope it's a good thing.
Yeah,
so
I'm moving with family. I'm here in Detroit all alone, other than, you know, you guys as my family, but my siblings are putting the pressure on me to move home. So I'm going back to Florida.
Florida?
Yeah, and the snow didn't help today. It made me want to rush it.
Now, listen, I'm going to tell you what part of Florida?
Right outside of Lakeland, which is the Winter Haven area between Orlando and Tampa.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, good. So I'll see you back in about 4 months after you see those crazy people. All right. So everybody I know that left Detroit went to Florida. They love it at first because of the weather, and then they.
Well, I used to live there, so I'm looking forward to going back.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
I'm used to handling the alligators and the iguanas and things like that.
Okay, I hear you.
Hey, Edna, I'm actually leaving for Florida Friday.
All right.
Yeah,
maybe we'll be on the same plane.
Yeah.
all these Florida, and I left Florida to come here for y'all, and y'all just said hi and you took off.
I'm just visiting.
You know, I gave up sun and sand to come out here to do the best that I can and to settle down to Detroit, and y'all say welcome, and then you go to Florida.
Well, you're still Detroit sexy.
I'm still a phone call away. I'm a Zoom away.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm not letting you off the hook, so don't be surprised.
All right. I look
Great.
forward to it.
But yeah, I understand. I think one thing we may do too, after we kind of have this discussion, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud, is maybe we can come up with a list of some more survey. I know we sent something out, but after this discussion and we take a look at it, have some new eyes look at it, sort of a survey of this is the road we're going down. What do you think? This is what we want to add to the document. This is what we think we should, and kind of just send some back and forth emails. And if you get those, if you can, just respond freely, and we'll see what we can incorporate, not incorporate. I don't want to incorporate something that steps on toes because I haven't been here long enough and don't understand. You know what I mean? That's why I need your input to kind of tell me the lay of the land a little bit. Okay, good. Ed, and I'm still mad at you, but anyway, I'm not talking.
Okay, so then the next portion of this topic is vacant seats. So we currently already have one vacant seat. The way this was previously done, there was a representative and a commissioner for each individual district. And then we had one that was kind of an at-large member. So right now that vacant seat is for District 7. And then as Ms. Edna just mentioned, we will have vacant one available February 1st. Is that right? Okay. So February 1st, we'll have 2 seats that we will be looking to fill. How that takes place, we'll have to talk about, because and I'll just say it now so we can kind of get your thoughts as well, but does it make sense to go ahead and fill those seats before we have everything updated, or should we just hold off until we have things updated as far as the bylaws and the structure, and then we go out to fill those vacant seats? And that way we're able to kind of give the people filling those seats a little more background and input on what it will be expected of them.
I think we should hold off. Only fools rush in, and we want to make sure that everything is tight, because nobody want to come to a party that looks, funky.
That they gotta help set up.
I agree. Yeah, the latter makes sense. When we add the new folks, hopefully everything's up and running nice and smooth, so they feel like it's always been that way.
Cool. Okay. Sounds good to me. So yeah, that will be the next steps. Again, we'll be going into it with 2 vacant seats to fill. I know all of you wonderful people have been with us for a very long time. So if y'all have any concerns about wanting to depart us, which I know none of you do, now would also be a great time to let us know that. You can send me an email if you have any concerns or you have other obligations you would like to dedicate your time to.
No emails. You have to identify yourself right now. I want to look. Don't even try to hide behind the email. I already got Edna sliding out on me. I come in here and I'm trying to fix stuff and y'all just do this to me. I'm hurt. Andy, where you going? I'm calling you out. You going nowhere?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. Consuela, talk to me.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere at all. I also have suggestions already for the District 1 and 7.
Okay, good. Okay, I thought you were taking it out on me because I didn't get you a birthday gift, but okay, all right.
Oh, my birthday's in July, so you got time.
Oh, daggone.
Yep.
And then Patty, I know she's in like Flint, so we're all good. We're all good.
Yeah, I'm the cold you can't get rid of.
No. Well, you know what? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna stop. Well, we'll talk offline. And then Bryant Harris is on, right?
Yep.
Yep. All right. Good. Jay Henderson, is he on?
Yes, I'm on. I'll be here.
All right, Jay. You better not go anywhere now. And then who's left? Dwayne Hines?
Yeah, he wasn't able to make it today.
He wasn't able to make it.
Yeah, I'll be following up with him.
I'm gonna pick up the phone and personally call him. Y'all better not leave me now. I came out here. I need some help. Okay.
Oh, we got you. We got your back. We got each other's back. That's the Detroit way.
That's what I like to hear. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
And then, Mr. Bryant, did I leave you out? Did I get your thoughts on things?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and I want to thank Mr. Oglesby for his response, because I agree with all the commissioners that we are here to advocate for change on behalf of the department. And that's something myself and Patty has been talking about for some years. But as far as the structure, I think that we need to get back with, getting a buy-in with the drivers, acknowledging them as we did before with monthly meetings, monthly awards for the drivers, driver of the year. The training department would always give us a report on accident reports, where we're at as far as accidents. So I think we need to get back with some of those things so that we can, again, get buy-in from the TOs and vehicle maintenance.
I'm glad you said that. That's right up my alley. I've been in transit for a long time. As a matter of fact, though it hasn't been reported to you, it's been happening. As a matter of fact, there's been a lot of one-on-one that's been taking place beyond anything that DDOT's seen in a long period of time. I have actually personally visited every training session and talked directly to every single operator and talk to them about their issues for 2.5 hours each per session, 260 people. As a matter of fact, I told them to give me what they think and put it directly on my desk. And this is comments from every single one of the operators. Okay. I not only talked to them, but I said, write down your problems. They wrote them down. And I'm talking about right down to $1 was missing on my paycheck. Okay, so One of the reasons why I'm so, hell-bent on this is because not only do I love transportation, but my father drove a bus for 34 years. So I was raised in that environment. I understand what the problems are, and I've changed the way that DDOT approaches our frontline employees. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw it, I gave them the opportunity to take the vaccine. I fought for them to take the vaccine. They weren't listed as frontline employees. I fought. I won it. I had to be careful though, because I really was, the operators are saying we're not looked at as frontline. I said, oh yeah, well, watch this. I fought and fought and fought. And the mayor said, okay, fine. Well, you're going to be the first with the Department of Transportation, the police department. And I was like, oh, wait a minute now. I'm afraid of needles. Oh, wait a minute now. Hold on now. What had happened was, so the next thing you know, 2 days later, the operator said to me, we'll take the shot if you take it. So the very first day I went in and took the COVID shot to show them. And then the operator took it next to me and said, I took it because he took it. So I believe in leading by example. I've talked to the maintenance people next, and that's how I roll. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there that even though we have not done a report on it, I've taken it to the next level. Now, I will tell you, I did measure how tall I was the night before. And when I took that shot, I measured myself again. I'm no taller. My hair didn't start growing. Nothing crazy happened to me. So I'm feeling good. I have no side effects. And I'm going to be getting my second shot on February 5th. And supposedly that'll get me up to, I'm at 80% protection. I'll be at 95%. And I've talked to the operators. How do you feel? They're doing it. We spent all week getting them the vaccine shot, the ones that wanted to take it. You don't get forced to do it. It's an option. Some people can't do it for religion and other reasons. So I'm giving them the tools to do their job, and I'm showing them, I'm walking the walk and talking the talk. So we're there. We're with you.
But kudos to you. I took my shot, and mine is the 5th of February also.
Oh, well, get out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, did you take Pfizer or Moderna?
Pfizer.
Pfizer, okay. Yeah, I took Moderna, but I mean, Pfizer, Moderna.
Yeah.
One's at 95%, one's at 94%. You both know they're probably both the same. I don't know.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, just protect me. But that's where we are right now.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. Sorry about skipping you.
No problem.
We have about 5 minutes left. So is there any new business that anybody would want to discuss, or do you have any other thoughts about the structure and moving forward?
No, only other thing I'd like to say is, and I may have overlooked it, Mickey, but I don't remember getting a survey, so I don't know if it's too late to send it out. But if you send me one, I'll be more than happy to fill it out.
Okay, yeah, I can send that back to you.
All right, thank you.
No problem. All right, if there are no other comments for today, I'm just gonna recap what I have, because I have a few things to report back with. So first thing, thank you all very much again for coming, for your attendance and for your input. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna work with Grants with Deanna on passing along the breakdown of CARES Act funding that already went out. We will send out meeting minutes, so look out for that. And then, as Director Oglesby mentioned, we will probably be reaching out individually if we have any more questions as we move forward to make sure this is the body we all would like to see and progress with. And that is all I have. Did I miss anything? Okay, sounds good. And then there are a few people from the public who attended, so I just want to thank you all as well for joining us today. And just to kind of reiterate, this is a advisory commissioner meeting that we have with DDOT. We do have an advisory board made up of these wonderful people here today. This conversation does allow for public comment. That period is in the beginning of the meeting. We kind of open with public comment. So it's a little different from the community input meeting. I did see that there were some questions put in the chat that people were able to answer. And so I'll just reiterate, the monthly community input meetings that we host are the third Thursday of every month. They start at 5 p.m. And for the time being with COVID, they are virtual. You can find meeting information on our website. We do post all of our public meetings, including this one, on the website with the information. And with that, I will go ahead and wrap this meeting up. So again, thank you again for everybody who attended today, and y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Be blessed.
Bye.
Yeah.